Next, we're going to add in the properties of a square. A square, still defining it as a parallelogram, is going to be having 4 congruent sides and 4 right angles. Remember, 4 congruent sides, that is a property of a rhombus, and 4 right angles was a property of a rectangle. So when we're talking about a square, we're saying that it is both a rhombus and a rectangle. So I'm fitting it underneath of both in this case. We're going to try and prove, we're going to do a 2-column proof here in just a little bit, but we're also going to do proofs on coordinate planes. So some conditions to think about. If you can show me that your diagonals are perpendicular, then you know that you have a rhombus. I'm not really going to focus on this one over here as much. You can try and show me that the diagonals bisect your angles. That one's a little bit harder. We're going to use this one in our 2-column proof. If you can show me that one pair of consecutive sides is congruent, you know that you have a rhombus. And then your last one, if you can show me that it is both a rectangle and a rhombus, then you know you have a square. So let's try and do 1 2-column proof. It tells me that JKLM is a parallelogram already, and that my triangle JKL is isosceles. It wants me to show that JKLM is a rhombus. And that's good news for us. Since it already tells us we're dealing with a parallelogram, I just need to try and prove that it is now going to be a rhombus. So looking at my next step, it's actually going to come from the idea of this isosceles triangle. So if I know that JKL is isosceles, I know its legs are congruent, which means then KJ should be congruent to KL, which is going to be your second step. JK equals KL, or congruent. Let's actually do congruence, because we have an isosceles triangle. And remember, we just said that if I get one pair of consecutive sides being congruent, then I know it's a rhombus. So I can go directly to this statement, JKLM is a rhombus. Is a rhombus because we know consecutive sides are congruent. That went right back to this property, 6.19. If I can show that I have a pair of consecutive sides being congruent, I therefore know it's a rhombus, which is what you just showed.